What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Unordinary Podcast. I'm here with Cyrus Shirazi. Cyrus is the CEO and founder of Haven. Haven is a tech-forward accounting firm built on speed and radical responsiveness. Cyrus realized founders don't hate accounting. They hate being ignored by their CPAs. He co-founded Haven with Scott Clark, scaling to $5 million in revenue in 18 months, while sparkling viral debate over his obsession-first approach to building a modern PwC. Before we jump in, I just want to say I am an early Haven customer. I love Haven, and after having working with multiple different accounting firms over the past few years, it's been a breath of fresh air within an accounting firm that really gets it and easy to use. Cyrus, in your words, could you explain what Haven is? And
Totally, brother. Appreciate you having me and great to be here. Yeah, so high level, Haven is a accounting, tax, and financial services business that builds technology to make everything that we do and every customer experience that we have far more operationally efficient and far better. The reason we kind of started Haven is basically too many of my founder friends told me they never hear back from their CPA. CPA doesn't answer their questions on time. And I was basically like, I think I can build something better here and prioritize like the customer above all else. At the end of the day, accounting is a service. And when it comes to services businesses, the thing that's most important is like the service. And if I can look back in like our business, the first piece of software that we ever built was like customer service technology.
Yeah. It's so funny. I've heard this so many times. Like, everyone hates their CPA. It's the same thing in real estate. Like, everyone hates their property management company. It's like, which one is the worst one, and which is the least worst one? And working with you guys has been pretty awesome. So your background's in technology. It's in startups. Walk me through before you started Haven. You went to Bates, and then post Bates, did you know you wanted to go into startups, and kind of what led you from post Bates to Haven?
Yeah, so my family's, many of them are entrepreneurs.
Sure.
From an early age, I kind of knew I wanted to build my own company. Built my own company from like my college dorm room, had other random side hustles.
What was your first company?
Basically, I have a good friend from college, his family's from Pakistan, and they had a large digital marketing agency.
Yeah.
And we just white labeled it. And so we found all the customers domestically, did everything from like social media marketing to like web development to ads, all of that, and even think of that like a marketing agency would do. And on the back end, they just did all the work. Scaled that to like close to 6 figures. Had a blast literally from my dorm room where I did class. And
You were college rich, and that's big.
yeah, we had a lot of fun. And during my junior summer, the summer going to senior year, got the chance to work for Company Ventures in Manhattan, which is owned by the Milstein family, who you probably know, big real estate family, and got the chance to work with a bunch of their portfolio companies, just like $100 million fund, blah, blah, blah. And basically from that kind of experience onward, I was like, startups is where I want to be to gain the knowledge, experience, skill set to go build my own company. And before graduating, joined a early stage company that was like an SMS marketing player, similar to like Klaviyo and Attentive. Ultimately, we didn't make it, but I was employee 7, learned a ton of different things. Then joined the Main Street team right after they raised their huge Series A. They raised like 60, 70 million, like a $500 million valuation. Was there for almost a year. Kind of got my first exposure to serving startups where they were like our end customer, and kind of my first introduction to the world of tax. Main Street was an already created company helping businesses with tax credits, and then met the founder and CEO of Meow. He's Persian, I'm Persian, both in New York. Meow was doing some really cool things.
You're in a light skinned version.
I mean, yeah. I'm half. So my mom is mostly English, and then my dad is 100% Iranian. And yeah, joined Meow, was the first business hire, employee 7, first non-technical employee. The business had like close to zero in revenue and close to like less than 5 customers. By the time I left, we had hundreds of millions in AUM, had built out a rock star go-to-market team, and kind of we're off to the races. And
Could you walk me through your time at Meow? Because when we connected previously, when you went into Meow, you didn't go into Meow thinking, hey, you're going to build a company immediately after this. You're one of the first employees. Meow, it's a great company. Really strong trajectory when you joined.
yeah,
And what were you doing in Meow when you started? But like, where along your way in Meow did you realize, like, damn, like, accounting sucks. Like, I could fix accounting.
yeah. So that realization around kind of the problem statement of like Haven
Sure.
didn't become pertinent as a result of like my Meow experience per se. It became more pertinent after the Meow experience, but also kind of reared its head when I was at Main Street.
Sure.
Just proximity to taxes rather than like kind of like proximity to just like financial services like Meow. So when I originally joined Meow, we were a crypto company. We did nothing in traditional finance. Effectively, what we offered is the ability for businesses and capital allocators to park their cash in a collateralized lending offering and earn more yield than whatever like treasuries and like a money market account we're paying. We're effectively able to offer somewhere between like 3 to 5% and like 0% like interest rate environment, and scaled that line of business to close to 100 million in AUM or something. Raised a big time Series A from Tiger and QB and a few other awesome investors, and then fucking crypto blew up. And we were lucky enough to be in a position where we had close to 30 million on our balance sheet. We had to start from zero. And one of the things we knew was interest rates were kind of like starting to come back up. We had the team and the chops to build like great financial services products, albeit prior to that it was in crypto, but still kind of like the same logic applies to traditional financial services. And we just like got really lucky in terms of timing. All the other kind of financial institutions didn't have great treasury products because we'd been in such a low interest rate environment for such a long period of time. We just blitzed, built a great kind of like traditional finance, money market, treasury bill sort of offering. Was able to just purely based on rates outcompete everyone that we were going up against. And long story short, by the time I left, we're probably close to or around like 400 or 500 million in AUM.
Wow.
And my kind of departure from Meow was one, I felt like I got into a place where I had gained the experience, the chops, rolled around in the mud, got punched in the face enough to know like what I needed to know to go build my own company. And it also been an amazing experience, but also like a really taxing one. When crypto was
No pun intended.
no pun intended, brother. Like when crypto was kind of like in the shitter in the summer of like 2022, we still had exposure. There were nights where it's like, are we gonna lose all this money? What the hell is gonna happen? And it was an amazing experience, but like it was super taxing. And I originally joined Meow to build a next generation kind of like crypto company, not something in like true like traditional finance. And yeah, it felt like it was time. Left, basically laid on the couch for like a month or two.
When you were laying on the couch, was it ideating on like what's next? So do you leave Meow knowing, hey, I'm going to build a company, I'm just going to figure out what I'm going to build, or were you like, hey, I just need a gun?
No, so it was. I know I'm gonna build a company, but I know I'm gonna take like a few weeks to a month off.
What were the other ideas before you went into Haven?
Bro,
I like we do this all the time. Just like I feel like all my founder friends do this. We just throw random ideas, like, even though we're like deep in the middle of building a company.
Yeah,
just like nothing is more fun. Just throwing random ideas on the wall. Like, hey, I think this is a good business. Maybe in the future, someone else should do this.
yeah. So it's funny. It was all kinds of different fucking things.
Let's hear it.
One of them, which I impulsively like blitzed into, and this is like basically 2 weeks after leaving.
Yeah.
Me and Taylor, who's one of my co-founders now, my longtime best friend, we incorporated an LLC to literally build like a landscaping fucking business. Then
What kind of role it play?
no, like literally just build and do landscaping for like homeowners and commercial businesses, whatever the fuck it was. After like doing like a little bit of like DD, began to realize you need all kinds of different like licensing and whatnot to be able to like actually do it in a like a legitimate way. And we kind of just lost steam. I also kind of quickly, after like a week, came to the realization that like what the hell am I doing? I need to take a sec before I go full steam into something. So that like fizzled, never turned into anything. Then in between there, I had this idea for like a sales marketplace. Do you know Superconnector? Chris Menard's?
No, no.
Okay, so basically, they go and source a bunch of partnerships with a bunch of different companies, and then they have all these connectors who can like make referrals or introductions to those companies and get paid for doing so. And so I had like a similar idea, ran with it for a bit. Ultimately, I had a good friend who was the founder of Harmonic AI. I don't know if you know Harmonic, but it's a big time data tool for VCs similar to PitchBook. And he was the founder CEO of Harmonic. He had left, was starting a fund called Plural. And he basically convinced me to join him as his co-founder. So worked with Brian for like 6 months before like starting Haven. We raised close to like 20 million from a bunch of legendary investors, Emil Langel, Dave McClure, blah, blah, blah. And long story short, it wasn't like my baby. It was kind of, we weren't building a business. We were more so building a fund. I wanted to build like a business, something from scratch. And I was like, yo, brother, love you. You're going to crush it. We're already like into fund 2. It was going well. But I was like, this is just not for me. And so walked away.
Was that a tough decision? Just like there's a saying sometimes, like if you're gonna go all in, you gotta get on the boat and like cut the cord, and it's scary because like this company just raised $20 million. Like if you stayed at the company, sure you would have been set for life. For sure. Wow, was it an easy decision? Like was your gut like I gotta do it?
It was an easy decision because just like where my heart was.
Yeah. Were you doing both at the same time for a little bit, or
Yeah.
you need to go?
Just under, I'll kind of like touch on that. Basically, my experience building Plural was kind of somewhat akin to like my time at Meow. Like I didn't like start the company. It wasn't like my baby. I didn't come up with the idea, blah, 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 blah. And I really wanted to put my back against the wall and I could take a true swing. And I didn't have the level of fulfillment that I was looking for. And funny enough, all this said, kind of like, even through the stupid sales idea that I had, to like the landscaping idea, to like working with Brian, I had a few founder friends who had never heard of like the R&D credit, which is like what I had done like when I was at Main Street. And in parallel to those things, not really focusing on it, kind of just as like a side hobby, I helped a few of them claim their R&D credits. Got like just one of a C Corp, did the whole thing, got to like 50, 60, 70K in revenue, kind of like overnight, like as a side hobby. And throughout that time, when I was like doing sales with Brian and just like ideating in general, one too many people told me they fucking hated their CPA and they don't want to answer that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like kind of thinking back to my time like at Main Street, like there's probably a way where we can like parlay the RB credit, bookkeeping, taxes, maybe some other things into like a kind of a full stack accounting and financial services business to help everything from like startups to SMEs. And I just knew like the opportunity was there. And a few of the people who I'd done like the R&D credit for like wanted us to do their books and their taxes as well. And I was like, fuck it. Like I have this opportunity. I see it crystal clear. I know there's meat on the bone here. And yeah, part of ways with Brian and called up Taylor, who I created like the Dinky LLC with way back when. And I was like, you want to do this with me? And he was like, yeah, fuck it. And the rest was like history.
That's awesome. Walk me, like the thesis was create an accounting firm that doesn't suck, which is, I feel like pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
But it seems like you guys have done.
It's basically like, in my mind, accountants are not customer service, customer experience, like experts. They're experts at doing accounting, doing taxes, but
The mechanics of taxes, the mechanics of accounting.
correct. And I was like, I think I can build a firm where we prioritize the experience above all else, and then also have exceptional individuals and team members on the accounting and tax side, but kind of blend the two worlds where bring like an operator kind of founder first mentality to the business. Sure, enables us to kind of outcompete all of the competition because they're like accountants and like tax professionals first, right? We're not. And I think that gives us kind of like a unique edge. Nothing like truly revolutionary or novel, but it's basically just kind of like business model change.
Definitely.
Wait.
How would you like, if you a few words to describe it? Would you say like better communication, streamlined processes, much more organized?
Yeah, all those things, 100%. And just like proactivity. Like it's never gonna more on average. Like our average response time to customers is like less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And your average accountant's response time is probably like 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I was basically like I just hear this complaint too frequently from people, and just knew that there was like opportunity there for us to do something. And yeah, it was like I'm gonna go build like the greatest services firm I possibly can. Yes, one of those services we provide is accounting and tax credits. And then the rest kind of like just fell into place.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Walk me through the founding team.
Yeah. So that's me, Taylor, and then we brought Michael on probably 6-7 months into the biz, and yeah, like the first 6-7 months, Taylor and I got the business to right around $1 million in run rate.
Sure.
Then brought Michael on. We ended that year at like 3 million in run rate. That was at the end of like 2024. And then like today now, like we ended the year a little bit past like 9.5 remember it. Now we're like well past 10. Yeah.
How long have you and Taylor known each other?
Forever, bro. Like 7-8 years old. And then started in Mets camp. And then like literally Mets camp was like baseball camp.
How does that work together? Because my two co-founders on one company is my brother.
Yeah.
On the other company is my cousin who is basically my brother.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like there's definitely been a few hospital trips on both sides growing up, just like from fighting, like totally like brothers fight, sports and non-sports. And when I think one of the reasons we've been so successful on both fronts is because we're just so direct.
Yeah.
We all thick skin because like with brothers, like you like for sure get into each other. And sometimes like we're in group meetings and we're just like too direct to each other. I'm like, all right, maybe we shouldn't do this at a group meeting, or maybe like the same way I speak to my brother, the same way you speak to him, you can't speak to other people like that too. But it's super healthy because like I feel like we both have a lot of friends that have started companies, and a lot of the reasons the company has failed is because it just wasn't a symbiotic co-founder relationship. And I think a big part of that, sure, like you can pivot into something great, but a big part of that is like communication.
Yeah.
So I think one of the reasons us personally that we've been successful is because we've just been so communicative, based on the fact that like I can say whatever the fuck I want to my brother, good, bad, and different, and we have thick skin. So we go to sleep that night, and the next morning we're good. I mean, is that something that?
Yeah. So I mean, it's built on like 20+ years of trust.
Yeah.
Right. Which is it's hard to break that.
Definitely.
I think I read somewhere like if you pass being friends with someone or have a relationship with someone for 7 years, like it's probably gonna last forever, or at least for your entire life. And so I think that's invaluable component of why we've been able to have like a great like working relationship. But then also success in business kind of leads to minimal issues, in my opinion. And I think there's a lot of businesses out there where you hear about co-founder breakups and all those sorts of things. I think in the majority of instances, when that happens, the business isn't working. And we've been lucky enough from basically day zero to have a business that has been working really well. I think there's so much to do. There's so many fires that have nothing to do with like your interpersonal relationships, where you just have to jump into action, right? And you don't really have as much time to think about kind of the personal dynamics of things, and you just basically keep your eye on the prize, and you're able to like build things in a manner that you otherwise wouldn't. I mean, of course, we've had our bumps and hills and valleys and all that sort of shit, but I think the overarching success of the business and the rate at which we've been able to grow has kind of superseded all of those different like things that otherwise were out our life.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Walk me through your go to market strategy, because you guys have went from 0 to 400 plus customers in a year and a half. How have you gone so fast? You mentioned in the past referrals, but what else besides referrals? And how do you get so many referrals? I mean, I feel like these individuals, like, they're referring people naturally, or are you saying, hey, refer your customers? Because I feel like a lot of time when we deal with this internally, we have QBRs that we implemented recently, and it's like an avenue to ask for referrals. And if you don't ask, you don't get.
100%. In our instance, I'd say we're lucky enough to be in the former group where it just happens naturally. Our so the biz, we're like 2.5 years in. We're like over 1,000 customers, over 10 million in run rate. The number one GTM channel for us up until, let's call it around 3 to 4 million, was relationships and network. Just the people I've met, the communities I've built, the friends I've made over the past like many years have been invaluable into getting us to where we are today. In parallel to Haven, and I know you're a part of this, like we built a community called like Startup Helpers, which is like, I think, almost 700 early 8 founders and VCs. That is basically just bring together all the amazing people that we've met throughout like business. And
I've been getting so much value from it. I mean, I've probably asked 10 to 15 questions in it over the past year, and best software for this, like best consultant for that, best lawyer for this.
100%.
I mean, people are just so happy to help.
Exactly, just brings people together. And I think that's been like invaluable for us. So early on, to kind of get from like 0 to like 3-ish, it was all this hustle and relationships and network and doing anything and everything we could to compound that. And then from kind of the like 3 to 4 million up until like where we are today, that's been a hybrid of not just that, but then also content across LinkedIn, not just from my handle, but then from like my co-founders and other team members. And in parallel to that, running ads to amplify everything we're doing on LinkedIn. And then the kind of like cherry on top, which is and has continued to be an exceptional channel for us, is just referrals. And I think the referrals are basically a byproduct of the quality of service we're able to deliver to our customers. I think most people are typically hesitant to like recommend an accountant to their friends. And I think we've done a good enough job to be able to kind of earn enough trust to be able to get those recommendations. And I think we definitely need to do more to continue to foster that, but we've definitely done a great job of building like the organic foundation for it.
When you look at going from 1,000 customers to 10,000 customers, is it double down on what's working right now, or are there new strategies that in 2026 that you're going to experiment with?
Hands down the latter. So I think there's things that'll get you from 0 to 1 or 0 to 2 or 3, from 1 to 10, and then like going from like 10 to 100. It's not, but like, sure, the same things will help, but they won't get you there. In order to get from 10 to 100, in my opinion, it is all about building everlasting compounding channels rather than just the hustle or the networking or relationships that got you from like 1 to 10. And for us, it's obviously doubling down kind of like on the content stuff that we do, but then beginning to actually lay the foundation for those new channels. Like Instagram was something like we've not really gone after thus far, but it's not something like we're building like the motion to hopefully successfully attack. And then there's tons of other things like little channels and things mixed in there. But yeah, I mean, in order to go from 10 to 100, it's all about the channels. Without like multiple channels, like you're not gonna get it.
Yeah. It's tough. I agree 100%, but you can't be doing everything at once. Totally. So it's identifying for us internally those 5 to 10 channels that make the most sense, and we're constantly taking 1 or 2 out, putting 1 or 2 in, just kind of arguing what makes the most sense. But yeah, just kind of narrow focus has been really really helpful for us, and I think it's led to our success. Because early on, I'm sure every founder kind of tries to do too many things at once, and then a good founder realizes, hey, let's just double down on what's working.
Yeah, 100%. I think that will get you to 10. But I think to go from 10 to 100, it'll get you maybe to 20, maybe to 30 over like a longer time horizon. But if you really want to kind of grow at the same levels that you did early on, you need to differentiate, experiment, manufacture new mechanisms for growth. Otherwise, it's just going to take you forever.
In this spirit of experimentation, how have you guys been implementing just the AI tool? You know, before we got into this, told you I picked up 2 Mac Minis. I spent the entire weekend on building an OpenClaw. But something you've been really vocal about, which I fucking love as a customer, is, and correct me if I'm wrong, regarding the minutes. If I message you on Slack, one, I love how you meet me where I am. So we operate on Slack.
Yeah.
So I speak to your team on Slack. I don't have to do via email. Like, it's organized, it's concise. It's on Slack. And if I message you, if no one answers me within 5 minutes, it pings everyone else, and then it pings the whole company. It pings the entire company. You know, like, no matter what, I will get a response pretty quickly, whether it's on a Tuesday at 2 p.m. or on a Sunday at 3 p.m. Like, there's always a response, which is pretty great. So touch that briefly, but like more so like outside of that, just like from an internal ops perspective, like building the accounting service provider of the future. Like, what are you guys doing internally for tooling and ops, and how are you thinking about implementing AI across the stack?
Yeah, so it's multifaceted, of course. Kind of going back to like our DNA as like a business. We're not accounting. We're not an accounting firm. We're a services business, and within that, the number one most important thing that we kind of pride ourselves on is like the quality of our service. The quality of our service is directly tied to how fast we respond to customers, how fast we get customers' answers, how fast we solve customers' problems. And in order to successfully make sure we're able to do that at scale, we needed to build CS tooling to make sure that no customer request goes unanswered. And so before we built anything on the accounting side, we basically built a bot in Slack, which pings the whole company every like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, until like the customer gets answered and their issue is like addressed. And then like if it's not like responded to, like immediately like a ticket is created that ticket lives in our ticketing system to make sure that like the customer issue is handled. And basically where our Slack bot goes is it basically becomes your let's call it accounting sidekick, but on like steroids. In the like coming weeks, you'll be able to get any like financial report in Slack. You'll be able to get like your tax return from last year in Slack. Any like metric about like your business, anything from like your burn to your runway, your cash on hand, your margins, like whatever it is, all in Slack. We want to like meet our customers where they are, and that's like kind of obviously going to be like a hybrid of like traditional like software, and then also like a hybrid of using or giving our customers the ability to in natural language ask for the things that they need. That's like a big thing. Then basically like how we like incorporate AI into like our business. Obviously like all of our engineers use like Claude and Cursor to like make themselves like far more efficient, but then it's everything from like auto categorization technology, so like training models, fine-tuning models to be able to like categorize transactions without like humans doing like the labeling, to then like basically being able to like OCR and parse contracts and invoices to be able to then create like prepaid schedules to amortization schedules to accruals, whatever it is. So how do we build tooling to make our accountants far more efficient is like one of our North Stars as well. And that's like in a hybrid of like AI and like traditional software. And then other things basically become like, how do we take those manual processes that our team is still doing and use agents to automate them? And that's like a big initiative for us like this year.
Definitely. You've been really vocal that your ambition is to build the modern day PwC. 10 years from now, what does Haven look like?
So in 10 years, Haven will, in my mind, basically look like one platform that can provide every financial service that a business could think of. And like it's more than just like a traditional kind of like PwC. It basically becomes like the hybrid of like a PwC and like a technology company within the confines of like financial services. So that's everything and anything from like obviously like accounting and tax. So then like we're doing like invoicing and bill pay now. We have like a banking product like what's not like it's fully live and launched and we have well if you like the 8 figures like AUM. But we're not like pushing it. We're basically taking our time with these kind of like subsequent products, but building them and rolling them out to customers and like design partners as like early as we can, and basically kind of like think of like the whole aperture of like financial services. Anything within that context is probably like something like we think about as like an offering like our customers should be able to take advantage of while working with us. But we basically want to build things so you don't need to go into like your platform or your financial app or whatever it is to do like what's needed to be done. I want to like meet you where you are, whether it's in Slack and you need to send the payment to someone, boom, done. If it's like over text and you need to invoice a customer, boom, done. I think the next generation of tooling basically becomes less platform oriented and more how do you give the customer what they need, where they are, where there's as few clips as human lost.
That's amazing. Cyrus, this has been awesome. I've been an early customer at Haven. I'm a huge fan with how fast the team is iterating. Love the service, love the team, love the product. Thank you for joining me. This is great.